sons, Engineer Charles Ngoka, was in charge of that project when he was. These things are real, but it won't work if the governor is making those policies and struggling alone and our business people are not keying in. So this is a call for our business community to join the government in this move.
Okay.
By taking that step, by taking that singular step of going after a free trade zone, the governor and his government have committed the Imo State government to development of that zone. Because if you just call it, please, we need some clapping here. Thank you, Excellency. The governor has unwittingly or wittingly committed his team to continue to work there, because if you have a free trade zone and you don't put power, you don't put roads, you don't put water, you don't build industrial complexes, it ceases to be a free trade zone. Therefore, we have to support that move, knowing that it's going to bring us positive results, not just for people from that catchment area, but for the whole state and even beyond. But without mobilization of the people, that free trade zone will not be very, very successful. I'll just tell you a story. One of the governors in the Delta, where I worked, had the monthly stipends that government used to give to youths, and they used to call it empowerment. He ran on the promise that he was going to turn his state to a construction site. That every time you go to any part of his state, you are going to see construction. Unfortunately, when he became governor, he awarded contracts, and there were contracts in every local government. Every local government has contracts. So he visited one of the sites and addressed the workers. He spoke in their natural language, and nobody understood what he was saying. So what had happened? He had created construction sites around the state, but his youths, his people were not working. Two problems: no skills prepared. So if you bring construction and construction companies come and there are no skilled people, they will take skilled people from other places.
Yeah.
The second thing is that the youths were not mobilized. They didn't understand what was going on. So they were interested more in the empowerment programs. Therefore, there is work for the team of His Excellency to mobilize his people. My experience in NCDB as an organization, there are myriad of examples of Nigerians doing well. It starts from the leadership of the government. So when we hear Governor Hope Uzodimma saying this is possible, we have to believe. We have to work with him, because at the end of the day, when we start seeing success, it doesn't come in 1 year or 2 years, but it's got to be treated in such a way that even the next government will build on what this government has started. So in closing, let me say that Imo is already poised for this progress. I heard the governor saying Imo has risen, but there's still space above to soar higher. The digital economy that has formed the foundation of this activity is very, very important. Scaling up our youths is very key, because it's one of the things that people who want to invest in the free zone will be looking for. Can we get labor? Can we get skilled labor in that catchment? So there's time for us to be working towards that. We have to expose the youths to AI, skewed towards manufacturing and logistics. We have to organize sensitization sessions between the contractors, the vendors that are already operating in Imo State, so that they are all prepared. But in the final analysis, we have to anticipate the new market that is going to overrun us in Imo State here. I'm not just being optimistic. This is realistic. I've seen it happen in my own working life. Things that were never contemplated. Nigerians being in charge of multi-billion-dollar projects and doing it well. So this new state movement is something that I am very happy about, and I believe that every son and daughter of Imo State should support it and work with the governor and his team to make it a reality. Thank you for giving me all this time.
Thank you for that riveting setting the framework, and I think it actually is fantastic, because I was going to ask you, as a specialist in cultural asset development, my question to you, and that's why I like the fact that you laid the framework of what actually exists right now. My question to you would be, there are many cultural sites in Imo State that lack structural management systems. What sustainable frameworks should the state build in order to support that? Like, what should be the first action point?
Okay, a few years ago, if you asked me this question, you would have confused me completely. But luckily, when I left office, I decided to go into community service.
Yes.
And one of the things we did is to set up a resort in Uguta. Uguta was recognized by the Eastern Nigerian government as a center for culture, tourism. So the cultural week activities used to be held on Uguta Lake. Imo State as a state is a culturally advanced state. And that is why Owerri used to have an influx of people from all over the country and even outside to enjoy our culture. It's the people. It's the people. So to have a structured framework is something that needs to be done. I am proprietor. We are talking amongst ourselves, how do we develop tourism outside just going to sleep on a hotel bed?
Absolutely.
The tourism is supposed to be something that you build an infrastructure where people say, I'm going to Imo State, I'm going to look at this artifact, I'm going to look at this activity. There are cultural festivals, there's a cultural calendar. This is what we are working with as a group of hotel proprietors. And we are interested in giving government the ideas that will help them build the structure you're talking about.
Yeah, so from your perspective, what would be the first thing to build on your wish list? What's the first thing?
On my wish list is sustain this security infrastructure that is in place.
Okay.
Let's reduce the negative news, right? We have an airport. Yes. You see, we have natural resources. There are, I can tell you, there are many historical places that we can go to. There are palaces of traditional rulers. There are deposits, geological deposits. There are artifacts here and there. There are vestiges of colonial rule. There are trading outposts here and there. We have so many things. I have a catalog where I want to take tourists to, but the first thing the tourists ask for is it safe? Is it accessible?
Yeah.
So when we come out now and we see that the road to Uguta, for instance, from the airport, you are driving on nylon tar. You are not stepping off the road till you get to my hotel. Who built that road? For me, it's Governor Hope Uzodimma. Do you understand? I can tell you, as somebody who plies the Owerri Onitsha Road, there was a spot in Umwidi that during the rainy season, you could not pass through. For many years, that problem, they will resurface it and it will come back again the next year. Governor Uzodimma has fixed that road in such a way that it can never spoil again.
A round of applause
so
for progress.
I don't work for the government, so I feel free to say these things without fear of failure.
Yeah.
So these are the things that tourists want to see. Tourists want to be able to plan. If I come to Owerri, I get picked up from the airport, they take me to Owerri, I have my Owerri. I go to this some nightclub, I dance Egwu Jigida. I then go to Uguta, I eat my fresh fish.
Yes.
I go on the lake, I see the confluence of Urashi and Obuide. You know,
Yes.
to talk about Urashi, and I'm going to tell the governor this straight up. Urashi doesn't stand alone. Uguta Lake and the Urashi River are married. I know you don't know that.
I don't.
Now, Oguta Lake is called Obuide. Orashi is Orashi. Orashi and Obuide are husband and wife. So making Orashi power plant without saying Oguta Orashi is like you are dividing a marriage.
Yeah.
So on a serious note, there are so many things that the tourists want to see, and a lot of them are already being done.
Thank you so much for that. Ugonna, I hope you're not feeling lonely over there. I'm coming to you. So you have a very specific eye. As a leader in the visual arts, it's not just enough to draw people in. So now we fixed safety and people want to come to Imo State. I'd like to know from your visual arts perspective, what key investments or structures are required for Imo to position itself as a hub for contemporary visual arts?
Thank you for that question. First of all, I do want to say thank you to the Imo State government for inviting me to this panel. I think it's also very visionary to have a cultural worker, a gallerist, a visual arts professional as part of this economic summit. We are an industry that is usually overlooked in moments like this. So I think that is testament to how serious and visionary the Imo State government is. And I do want to commend them. And as a daughter of Imo State from Owerri North, I feel very honored to be here amongst you. Good afternoon. So
Welcome
you. Welcome home, thank you. I want to say thank you, Dr. Anas, for also laying that foundation, because it did give me some background information that I didn't have. And obviously being here yesterday, watching some of the informationals that were showing on the screen, it was very exciting to see what the digital city is doing and seeing the partnership with the University of California. This is the sorts of things that the visual arts and media and storytelling allow people to see into the state and get excited about what's going on in the state. And most times, if you get your storytelling right, if you get your packaging right, it actually supersedes the negative news that you hear. There is insecurity everywhere. There are a lot of cities that are very dangerous, and you know that, you hear it. I do a lot of work in South Africa. Johannesburg is not the safest place, but they have staple events that draw people in, and they have a structure around that, and I think it's because they've done a really good job of promoting what they're doing there. So within the visual arts and storytelling and writing, it's important to package what we're doing here, to encourage people to come into Imo State and see the talents that there is. I want to talk about the power and the powerhouse that the creative economy is. You know, we talk about art in such a soft language sometimes that we forget how much money it draws to economies around the world. When you travel anywhere, when you go to London, people are going to the museums. When you're going to see the London Eye, you're going to Paris to see the monuments, you're going to Lagos to see Nike Art Gallery. You know, people are now going, you know, there's the museum coming up in Benin. Once upon a time, the Calabar Festival was a big draw. So what is the draw? What is bringing people to Imo State? And there might, of course there are things, there's Ugota Lake, there are monuments here, but who knows about them? What are we doing to communicate what we're doing here? And how are we preserving our heritage? How are we making money from our heritage? The Mbari system is the foundation of the modern art system that we have today. And I mean that globally. I don't mean Nigeria. All around the world, scholars are studying the Mbari system, which means that we have always been advanced. Our indigenous knowledge has always been technology. Technology is not new to us, but you have other people telling a better story, using our stories, making money for their economies. How are we being strategic about that? Where are the documentaries about Ugota Lake? Where are the documentaries about the work that we're doing here? Where are the programs that are still modeled off the Mbari system, which was a creative ecosystem, where you're housing the artists, the writers? You know, if we commission artists to create work about Ugota Lake, to create work about other monuments in the state. That's how, and then you share that, right? That's how people know. There is an identity of Lagos. Why do we know that? There's the yellow bus, that, because we've seen it.
Yes.
We've seen it in film, we've seen it in paintings. And I was having a conversation yesterday morning with a journalist, and I asked him, before you saw a lot more yellow buses in Nigerian art, but you don't see them anymore. And why is that? Because you don't see yellow buses in real life. Art imitates life. Art is a documentary of life.
Yeah.
This is how in 20 years, when you come back, if you want to know what Imo State looks like, you should see the art, you should see the museum. You should say in 2025, this is what the people were discussing. I used to be the director of the Guild of Professional Fine Artists of Nigeria. So I can tell the different regions the artists are from. The artists from the South are talking about oil spills through the art. I visited an artist in Kaduna 2 years ago, a very established artist, and so I went to his studio, and it allowed me to see his work from when he had just finished school, 1970s or so. We're now in 2023 at the time. And I saw that his art had not really changed. To a normal person, you'll say, oh, he paints the same thing over and over again. But actually, that was him documenting history, showing that Kaduna is at a standstill. They're still discussing the same things, they're still going through the same issues in Kaduna. That's what it's saying. But if you go to a different region and you see that the art is changing, it's telling you that in 1980s, this is what the city looks like.
Yeah.
How are we documenting? What we don't want to lose our identity if it's not written and documented anywhere.
Yeah.
There's that. But when you also think about the ecosystem, it's not just the artist, it's the carpenter who's building the frame, it's the painter who's painting the gallery, it is the person who's stretching the work, it's the admin, it's the technology component of it. There's so many jobs that can be created through this visual arts. There's so many direct and indirect impacts on the economy. So I think that, of course, security is definitely the biggest draw, even for the practitioners themselves. Even for me as a daughter of Imo State, I want to know that I'm safe here to conduct the work that I do, and also encourage people to come with me, to come back to my state.
Thank you for that. Our time is fast spent, so based on everything that you both discussed, I'd just like to put it to both of you, ask you a question. What is one opportunity you believe Imo State must prioritize immediately in tourism, culture, or creative enterprise development? A word for the future.
I think for me, it'd be two things. One, it would be documentaries, honestly. So I think that there is a lot of infrastructure being built, there's a lot that's happening. I haven't been to Crystal Lake. So how are we documenting that? I think there are some funds for artists, for filmmakers to go around and show us Imo State and show us the work that we're doing.
Yes.
That there is a partnership between Owerri and University of California, Berkeley is a very big deal. I didn't know any of this. It's a very big deal. And to come here and find out about it, and I'm like, who knows?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in Imo State, who knows? So where are these small and larger documentaries going into the different substates of the state, letting us know? So that way you encourage people to join hands, to bring more money, to bring more expertise into the space. So I think that is one step, but I think also empowering the creators. I think that Nigerians are very creative. No matter the job that they're in, they bring their creative flair into those industries. So how are we funding young artists to also document, to also to do the documentary, to do the paintings? When you watch film,
Yeah.
we know so much about America because of their film, because of the visual arts. When you watch any movie and they've stolen something from the museum, it's the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
But how many of us went to art school to learn what the Mona Lisa was?
Basically cultural tourism.
Cultural
And we need to elevate
export,
that. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the way to do that is just even document what is being done already. It doesn't even have to be a big new investment.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to find out what's going in Owerri, but we need to talk about it.
Thank you for that. And Dr. Ernest, what would you be your own take on that?
Yeah, I'll just completely subscribe to what she said. The only thing I will add is that government needs to work closely with that industry and curate some of these things she's talked about. Get it out, put the government backing on it so that the private sector moves with the government towards getting some documentary, something, maybe even an institutionalized arrangement where people can log into Imo tourism and see the elements, see what there is in Imo State. And I think it's a quick win that can be achieved very quickly. Thank you.
Thank you for that. We were supposed to have some panelists speaking to the tone of entertainment and policy making, but unfortunately, they haven't been able to join us today. However, I'd like to say a huge thank you to our two panelists for making it, and everyone who has shared insights with regards to this topic. The session has highlighted clear priorities for Imo, building a coherent statewide tourism roadmap, strengthening security, strengthening cultural export, and developing and enhancing digital visibility. Your contributions today help shape the next phase of Imo and tourism and the creative economy. So we'd like to say a huge thank you, and thank you to the organizers of the summit for having us as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please one more time a big round of applause for our wonderful panelists. Amazing job, Sasha. You did very well. It's been a while. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, they did justice to tourism as an economic catalyst. For me, in the creative industry, I know based on personal experience that Imo has the highest number of A-list celebrities in Nollywood. And talking about tourism and the creative industry, it's a marriage that cannot be separated. If we leverage our advantage in that sector, I mean talking about Nollywood, a lot can be done in tourism. I and my colleagues have been working on so many different things, and I'm sure.
I'm so sorry. They want us to call you staff first, not Mike. I apologize.
No,
because he's leaving us.
Okay, there has been an adjustment. Fortunately, I have not gone ahead. But permit me to first of all recognize our Deputy Governor who's just joined us. Please, a round of applause for Her Excellency, Lady Imo Economic, our own beloved Deputy Governor, who always has the support of her handsome husband, His Excellency Chief Sir Chukwume Komaru, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. You're welcome, Your Excellency. You're welcome. Permit me to quickly recognize Right Honorable Ahmed Idris Wase, the former Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives. You're welcome. Our own Senator, the Senator representing my own constituency, Senator Eze Nwonyeuchi. I see you there. The former Secretary General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, my in-law, Ambassador Kemuche. You're welcome. Always present. Nzeuzi Chukwuchukwu, one of our leaders, was also with Ohaneze. I salute you, sir. How can I forget? I made that error yesterday. I will not forget. This uncle of mine is a leading figure in the pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria, and I'm sure you all know him, Mazi Dr. Sam Ohuabunwa. I salute you, sir. I salute you, sir. You're welcome, sir. We'll continue to recognize people as we make progress. I just want to make it snappy. I skipped him on the recognition list because he's the man that I'm about to bring on now to give us his keynote address. Is a man that this country values so much because he's our own version of Bill Gates in Nigeria. He's the Nigerian godfather of tech in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, and we are happy to have him as a son of Imo State. He's here today. Please, a big round of applause as I welcome the founder, chairman of the Xenos Group of Companies. Yes, and of course, Conga. Please, a big round of applause for Dr. Leo Stan AK as he comes forward to talk to us this morning. You're welcome, sir. I always admire his style. Let me add that too.
Your Excellencies, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, the senators, distinguished senators, and the politicians here, let me observe protocol. Mine is very simple. I want to say I'm excited to come from this state, and this was reaffirmed yesterday. I think God had a purpose bringing most of us from this state, but I don't think we realize it. Okay, just said Imo has produced the largest number of Nollywood superstars. And when you look at where we are coming from, you can only thank God that we are stayed there. For those doubting Thomases, a lot of us believe in this state, and I support the governor of Imo State, Governor Hope Uzodimma, 100%. Only fools don't support their own. You can't support foreigners and you abandon yours. Even where there are mistakes, we correct it. Now mine, I'm in a digital world, and that's the new economy. Okay, I'm from Imo State, my father from Imo State, my mother from Imo State, my wife from Imo State. So I'm a big stakeholder, and that's why I'm the largest employer of civilized Imo people in this country. And I believe God had a purpose also bringing me from here. Like I said, I'm from Owerri. My wife is from Olo. I was born in Okigwe. So it is a very clear description that I have to be faithful and sincere to this country, to this state, and then the country by extension. So we need to support our own. The governor might not make a lot of noise about what he's doing. When he came in, I told him, I said, the greatest thing you give people is knowledge. People who are well educated, well informed, are global citizens. And he listened and set up the biggest investment, as far as I'm concerned, in Imo State, which I call the Knowledge City, where Dr. Amadi, the Commissioner for Information Technology, is in charge. You might not read the economy. If you read the value of those people he has produced, you now know the power of this economy. But they just need a little bit more of incubation period. So I just want to tell all of you, because technology is coming up live. If you have 2 children, put one in technology. It has nothing to do with computer science. Technology comes with humility, but it comes with big money. Money only you can mention to the society. They don't know how you made it. So if you have 2 children as an Igbo man, as a Nigerian, put one in technology. He's a global citizen. If God wants to bless your family, He must bless you with technology. Nothing else. It's not construction, it's not farming. Technology money is big money. Now, coming from this poor state, people say, but I built the biggest technology company in the continent. It's not arguing. Technology don't argue. It's either you are right or you are wrong. And I built 360 degrees. But I didn't read computer science. I was discouraged in Cork City University from reading computer science, that Africa will not see computer in 30 years, commercially. That made sense. But the truth is that I've done the biggest project in the continent, and I'm still doing them. And in technology, you don't need a godfather. If you're a global citizen, you don't need a godfather. They will need you when they need you, and they will pay you the right fee at the right time. So I just want to appeal to you, building large houses, 20-story building is reserved. Push your kids. I'm not saying they must read computer science. I have about 233 coders. Only 14% read computer science. And they are whiz kids. This is why I came here. That things have changed. There's a new economy, new money. And 90% sits with technology. I don't want to waste your time. I just want to first of all appreciate my governor for taking the pain to put this together. And I was very proud. Imo people turned out the traditional people, the reverend priest. I was touched that the poor me comes from this state. And I thank Aliko for popping in. So today, I'm sure I have some investors here. The biggest investment is in knowledge. We need to put our schools right. And to commit to this state, because if God has given you and brought you from a state, you must give to that state. You must return and give to that state no matter who you are. And I'll continue to invest in this state. In the last 11 years, we do a book count. I put 2 billion every year, but last year I put more. 2026, I'm going to put 5 billion in educational institutions. When I left here yesterday, my state cannot be second class. When I left here yesterday, I went to inspect Holy Ghost College, a building I'm doing. That center in Holy Ghost College will be the biggest model AI learning center in the whole of Southeast. And I must commission it before the end of February. So I'm pleading with you that vehicles are no more sure of wealth. Big buildings are not sure of wealth. Sustenance is critical. So give your children the best education. Even if you don't know what to do in a school, you need to encourage them to open their minds to the big picture. Amadi has the capacity to speak everything I want to speak. But spiritually and with the governor of Imo State, spiritually and with the people of Imo State, even yesterday while I was driving from the airport, I said, can I get some accountants? Can I get some auditors? Can I get smart people? I'm training people. I have a center in Imo State University producing 200 entrepreneurs every 3 months. Okay? Supporting them. But we need to do more. If you're a rich man, you are not contributing to this state where you'll be buried. You are not a purposeful person. Okay? So if you have those brilliant kids, and I'll give you an example, this digital center, I told them from next vacation, I pick children for poor families who came to first to third positions. Every holiday, because during the holiday the school is vacant, all the secondary schools are vacant. They have a hostel. I bring the best. What I want to produce in Imo State are people who will replace the Ostan. So I keep them there. I'm bringing partners from abroad. I brought Microsoft to Nigeria. I brought Elon Musk to Africa. I brought HP to Nigeria. I brought Lenovo to Nigeria. So we have capacity but we need a decent environment. Stop fighting, blackmailing for 20,000, 50,000, 5 million, when the bigger picture is there. Okay? So I'm not here, count on me spiritually. I'm not a politician and I would never play politics. I've chosen my part. Okay? And for whatever you do for Imo State, government will bless your family, your children, because you must sow a seed. When you are giving donation in Lagos, in Abuja, everywhere, remember Imo State and support the governor. Don't debrand this state. If you have problem with the governor, call the governor. It's accessible. And chat with him. But don't debrand the state. Things have changed in Nigeria. Nigeria is being driven by knowledgeable people. No more touts. So we must consciously, like the governor is doing, the next 10 years, build people who can defend their wealth anywhere. A lot of billionaires can't defend their wealth in Africa. So this is why I just came. I'm excited to come from this state. Frankly, anytime I'm landing Imo State Airport, my blood pressure comes down. And I start looking for corn or pear. Unfortunately, I have not been able to find this time. Okay? So if you come from such a state, what are you looking for? Money is a right in 21st century. Call your children, talk to them, but they must come with humility. Any arrogant person who says he has money doesn't have money. Every rich man is humble. So I really want to appreciate you. I continue to pray for you. When the Archbishop showed me the cathedral, it was our cathedral. Now it looks like the one in Basilica. Isn't it? Have you gone there? God planted this place before the war, and it wasn't shut down, it wasn't brought down, it didn't scratch. Go in there and pray tomorrow Sunday. Next tomorrow Sunday. You will see God from a different perception. So there are miracles in this state. I have brilliant boy, AKG. You have one of the best global boys out of this state. I experienced your boy. Is that Patrick AKG? Yes. So if you have those children who are bright, please, everybody has my phone number. I don't hide it. Because when they come in the village, I answer them. Okay. If you have brilliant kids, mostly those from poor homes, please send them to me. Send me a WhatsApp. Send me. I will help direct them. We need to build the next set of billionaires out of this state. So I really want to thank you, the organizers. You are wonderful. I know the experience you've gone through in the last 1 week. Okay? But God will continue to bless you for staying faithful to this state. Okay? And count on people like us to intervene. But like I said, I'm not a politician. Okay? I come in with a whole lot of spirituality. Every man has common sense. In 21st century, if you have common sense and art technology, you are a global citizen. God bless you. Thank you very much.
It deserves a big round of applause. If you want to clap, you clap. Yes. As a man in whom I'm well pleased. Do something in tech. Tech is the future.
Big money in tech. He has given us all the expo that we need. Do something. There's nothing like Egombute. Ogwego is not working. If it's working, native doctors will be the richest. Do tech. It can't be said enough. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, I know so many prominent Imo sons are seated here. Permit me to quickly recognize the Speaker, Imo State House of Assembly. He's been here, he was here yesterday, he's here today, always supporting. Please help me put a big round of applause for Right Honorable Chico Lembe. You and other members of the House of Assembly here present, we appreciate you. It's difficult for us sometimes as masters of ceremonies to stand here and be able to recognize everyone in the audience, especially when we don't have a list written for us. So we are trying to piece together now with the assistance of the people from the protocol so that we can properly recognize people. I feel bad sometimes, you know, some of us are also aging. It's even difficult in our own house to remember our children in the order they were born. So when we come here, it's a bit tough. I also cited our former Deputy Governor, Professor Placid Njoko. Please, a big round of applause. He's been seated here. I'll catch the ones that I see. The Chairman, Imo State Council of Elders, His Royal Majesty Eze Siailu Manya. You're welcome, sir. Seated next to him is Odebube. I need to put these names together so that we'll do a proper recognition. I also know that seated somewhere is the member representing Owerri Federal Constituency, Honorable Sir Tochukwu Okere. You're recognized. We have so many commissioners. I also cited the Secretary to the State Government. Imagine, Chief Iwu. He's been the one running the ship. If you see that things are moving, he's been doing a great job. Chief Cosmos Iwu, I salute you, sir. I salute you, sir, for the good job you're doing with His Excellency in the state. We'll continue to recognize people. Please, protocol people, put together a list for us there so that when we come up here, it's easy for us. A little birdie just whispered that His Excellency will be joining us shortly. Where I was going to introduce the next keynote speaker, but I will take just a brief musical break. Hopefully, in the next 3 minutes, they will be performing. That will give us enough time to confirm his arrival. When he's seated here, we'll take that next keynote speaker. We don't want that speech to be interrupted by his arrival. But once we have all this confirmed, I'll be back up here again to continue transmission. So we'll take the musical break now and I'll be up here again. Onyami, please, let's go. Yeah.
Benjona joya now, Igwa maru ibezi now, Onye metele obulu, Omemba na maya now, Benjona joya now, Igwa maru ibezi now, Onye metele obulu. Imo State Kemuti Nonu Emweli Fengegu Kanyi Kwabike Nwe Onyabula Wele Good Vision His Excellency Senator Hopo Uzodi Mahabekwa Okporo Imo State Nine Wayo, open ya Onyabula kwa gidonu governmenti manifondeme Industry kane butenu nibo Abara yina menadi ganya Electricity Gabu 24 hours we Imo State Ogadere yama Omemba na mayala Omejona joya now igwe mara ibe zinya onye metụrụ ọbụla
gwakene ndị Imo okwu gbasara okwu ụzọ dị mma ma ọ lụọ na-alụ ọ mara ife ọ na-alụ
ụmụ ụwa gazie n'ime otu o nwere akụkọ na-akọlụ unu aga m enye ụnụ azụ n'ezigbo fabia m ọzọ hey! Hope ụzọ dị mma obodo Imo steeti anyị nwanne m na aka dịle gị mma onye na-eme ka chi na-emelu onye na-atụ aja ikpe amalị ọchacha onye na-atụ aja na-asị na ikpe amalị ọcha hey! Ọ bụ na-eme n'Imo eziokwu na-emeka ụzọ dị mma ụkpụrụ ndị gbelie ibe omele febe n'Imo steeti akalịka ndị Imo ka anyị kwado obodo jebe n'ilu omemma na-amaghị ya na mejọ na njọ ya na igwe mọrọ ibe zinya onye metụrụ obulu
omemma na-amaghị ala omejọ na njọ ya la igwe amaghị ibezi ya onye metere ogburu federal government make una listen to me if there is any support you give hope make una give hope because hope is working. Do you know the meaning of Uzodimma? Uzodimma in English here, our road is good. Here's an economy. His Excellency Ahmed Tinubu. If there is any help you give Imo State, this is the time to show love to Imo State. Because our governor is working. If you come to Imo State today, you will find out that every road is well built there. We have better flyover in Imo State, better roadway in Imo State, better house in Imo State, better fashion in Imo State. Come to Concord Hotel before it. Concord Hotel look like a place land they live. But today, His Excellency Hope Uzodimma and beautify Concord Hotel. If you come to Concord today, it will be like say you dey for Abuja. I can look and say you dey look make una support Hope Uzodimma.
ọmọ Nàìjíríà ọmọ Nàìjíríà ọmọ Nàìjíríà ọmọ Nàìjíríà ọmọ Nàìjíríà.
Obenja na njọ yala, omemma na mma yala, ikwu amaghị ibezi ya, onye metere ogburu.
Omemma na mma yala, obenja na njọ yala, ikwu amaghị ibezi ya, onye metere ogburu.
Unu afụgo na ndị ire anyị iche na ị ga-anwụ ebe Chukwu si na ị ga-aga n'iru. Ha che na Imo steeti ga-abụ n'ụgbọkpọ ebe ebe Chukwu si na ị ga-aga n'iru.
Unu afụgo na ndị ire anyị iche na ị ga-anwụ ebe Chukwu si na ị ga-aga
ukwe ya ọzọ
Unu afụgo na ndị ire anyị iche na ị ga-anwụ ebe Chukwu si na ị ga-aga n'iru.
Extend my greeting to His Excellency Imo for making Imo State a better place. No more insecurity. No more insecurity in Imo State here. If you come to Imo State today, police is working, military is working, civil defense is working. Everything they do. Andi rani tena yigamu. Ebe tupu si na yiganiro. Onatugo andi rani tena yigamu. Ebe tupu si na yiganiro. Onatugo andi rani tena yigamu. Ebe tupu si na yiganiro. If you hope one them, many before nature, before he made Imo State, they call them wrong. If I don't see an alone with it, the mechanic, they will see where I hope. Mechanic, he said, why the governor, on the pier our road, where we know they walk again. Before, if you get the motor, shock of the Zava, it will spoil. Yakamba will spoil. But today, if you don't work out for Imo State, silly, 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 oh, silly, the one when they sweep me for the 30th education, where I come bring for Imo State. If they talk about pensioners, gratuity, what would they pay? Civil servant, they tend to pay. Others they pay 17,000 minimum wage, but to workers of them they pay 104,000, 104,000, 104,000, 104,000. If you know you dey hear my voice, say you love our governor, clap for him. I want you to clap for his excellency. On the color of the world, ebe chukwu si na ịga n'iru. Ebe chukwu si na ịga onye ọzọ I want to advise His Excellency, make you close your ear, make you not hear any consequence. His Excellency, Senator Ho, just dey do your work, God na Him go bless you. Make you not tell His Excellency Ahmed Tinubu, make you no forget Imo State. Because of His Excellency, hope so much love you. He said any place you die, in another place He go die. Ahmed Tinubu, make you no shame our governor. Because if you shame him, God go best for you. If you shame him, God go best for you. Ahmed Tinubu, God go best for you. If you shame hope, God go best for you. I said that I thank you for the one you did do. His Excellency, President of the Republic of Nigeria. Because what they talk about you every day, if they say, if they help, make you continue to help. Only God will bless you. Ebe chukwu si na ịga n'iru. Ebe chukwu si na ịga because of those of us that came to Imo State, we want to give you Imo song for you to enjoy and feel happy. We are going to stop now because our time is up, but let's not forget that.
Thank you very much, Onyami. Thank you. Yeah, I'll take a few recognitions. We'll make progress. We'll have to keep it going. Whenever His Excellency joins us, he joins us, and we'll continue. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to recognize a few more persons. Seated with us here this afternoon, we have the former Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Idris. I did earlier on mention that. Also in that entourage is Honorable Yakubu Dati, former Commissioner for Information in Plateau State. You're welcome. We have our own Algon Chairman, Engineer Ikenna Dikibe. Dr. Maurice Mberi Ikukomani Sueshen Clan, and the Federal Permanent Secretary, General Services, former Federal Permanent Secretary, General Services in the Presidency. You're recognized, sir. Chief Ferdinand Uzodimma, our Deputy Chief of Staff, General Services, Government House, will recognize you. Chief Bennett Moke Jobi, we recognize you, sir. Our own head of service, Mrs. Chikodi Emenalum, you're welcome, ma'am. I understand that a son of Imo State in whom we are well pleased, our own father, Professor Maurice Iwu, former INEC chairman, you're recognized, sir. Deputy Chief of Staff to His Excellency Dr. Pati Keji, recognize you. An elder statesman in Imo State, Chief Osita Waneri, will salute you, sir. Chief Chibuike Achibu Akasawa Namkwere, welcome. Please, those in charge of protocol, keep helping us identify some of our prominent sons in the audience today, and we'll continue to recognize them as we make progress. Let me also recognize the Government House Chaplain who's here with us, Reverend Father Professor Gilbert Alaribe. Thank you very much. You're always here, always supporting, always encouraging. We appreciate you. Reverend Dr. Ono, all the way from Abia State, you are in charge of the Diaspora Commission. We recognize you. Right Honorable John Dafoe, House Member, Plateau State. I also cited from the Federal House of Reps, Honorable Henry Nwawuba, we recognize you. my good friend and my colleague in Nollywood, Julius Agwo, who came all the way from River State to be with us here in Imo State. I appreciate you, my brother. All right, without wasting time, if you're ready, my brother, you come on and continue. Chief Henry Joko, the group chairman, Harry Tex, will recognize you. Vincent, if you're ready, let's carry on with the rest of the program. Thank you.
A round of applause for Unyeze. Thank you so much. Moving on to panel 2 now, which is on digital transformation and imperatives for positioning Imo as a startup and tech hub in Africa. And once again, we have a stellar team that has been put together. I would like to start with one of our panelists and also moderator. She is a globally recognized writer, speaker, and cultural commentator, helping a generation navigate identity shifts, emotional reinvention, and quiet grief of becoming someone new. She's best known for giving voice to timeline grief, a phrase she introduced to capture the silent mourning that happens when life doesn't go as planned. She has built a digital platform of over 500,000 deeply engaged readers, listeners, and followers with her essays, interviews, and podcast clips. Whether through her words, her voice, she invites us to stop performing and start remembering that you're not broken, you're becoming. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mrs. Chika Wazei, the co-founder, Afropolitan. Round of applause as she sits. Thank you so much for joining us today. Moving on to another respected leader who is in Africa's digital payments and cryptocurrency ecosystem. She is the managing director of Yellow Card, where she champions empowerment across borders. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Lasberry Oludimu, managing director of Yellow Card. Thank you so much for joining us today, madam. We have a senior bank executive here also, who is leading the charge in digital microfinance innovation and financial inclusion in Nigeria. A round of applause for Mr. Henry Obieka, who is the managing director of Fair Money Microfinance Bank. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Also, we have a global business strategist and ecosystem architect who helps companies innovate and scale across continents. It's my pleasure to call to the stage Mr. Chris Bory, who is the co-CEO of US Market Access and A3 Global Collider. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. We're happy to have you with us in Imo State. And one more person I understand will be joining them, who's bringing his wealth of expertise to this panel. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to call on a statesman, a journalist, a reform advocate, and a public servant. He is the immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where he championed youth empowerment programs. Also a former Executive Commissioner of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC. He is loved by many youths, a policy thinker, and a champion of innovation. Mr. Sunday Dari, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Are you testing the mic?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Can you guys hear me? No, I know. It's not.
Use the push button. Use the decree.
No, but it's on. You can't hear me properly. Do you have a mic I can hold? Okay. Good afternoon. Oh, there we go. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. All protocols observed. It's such a pleasure to be here today. As a daughter from Imo State, I am very, very thankful to our governor to inviting me and to all the panelists. I think this is an amazing opportunity to talk about such important things. I'm the co-founder of Afropolitan. I have the fastest growing entrepreneurial podcast in Africa, and we talk about some of these subjects such as technology, culture, and business. And so it's such a pleasure to talk about the importance of technology and how much we can invest, and the fact that it is one of the fastest growing sectors in Nigeria, attracting billions of dollars every year to the country. And so today, my panelists, we're going to talk about not only the investment, but the infrastructure and how we can build more technology companies, entrepreneurs, the fact that AI is rising and that so many youths are being skilled in this, and how they can export their talents globally. So first, I want to talk to Lasberry. Can you give us a little bit more insight into Yellow Card and how blockchain can be brought not only into Nigeria, but specifically to Imo states?
Thank you so much. A very big thank you to the organizers of this event and dearest father, His Excellency, for putting this together. I work with a blockchain-powered infrastructure payment. What that means, or what that implies, is this company has discovered a way to enhance cross-border payments and using blockchain technology for ease of transactions. Basically, just two things that we need to know about this company. What we're focused on is the blockchain technology. There are so many things you can actually do with the blockchain, right? You can use it for records, you can use it for transactions, then you can also build other innovative products on the blockchain. So just talking about specifically with regards to transactions, one of the biggest use cases for blockchain when it comes to transactions is the use case of stable coins. Maybe during the conversation, I will talk more about what stablecoins is all about and how stablecoins is solving problems through blockchain technology. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lasberry. In fact, we also use stablecoins as well. There's so many diasporans that come into the country each year, and sometimes they're not able to easily make payments on Nigerian cards. So stablecoins has been instrumental in helping more people being able to transact in Nigeria. So now, Henry, I want to go with you. Can you talk more about Fair Money and what infrastructure are you building here specifically in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks to the government and the organizers for this laudable event. All right, so my name is Henry. I am MD for Fair Money Microfinance Bank. So Fair Money is a leading microfinance bank in Nigeria. We are using technology or leveraging on technology to push financial inclusion and provide access to financial services for the underserved and the unserved, right? So those that maybe already have accounts but are not satisfied with what they are getting, and those that don't have at all, right? And so for 7-8 years now, we've been building this, and it's been an interesting experience. One of the things that we've done primarily is looking at the pain points within the financial services ecosystem and seeing very clearly that access to credit is the number one critical problem that we see. And so what we've done is try to provide or improve that access to credit, leveraging on technology to the point where we're able to scale that and hit the masses or the consumers up to a point where on a daily basis we are processing over 10,000 worth of loans in number to consumers, right? And so this is something that we are doing, and we are leveraging on technology, and happy to talk more about that here. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And so to Chris, I believe one of your organizations helps local companies here, for example, in Nigeria, to scale outside of the country. So I'm curious what you're doing specifically for companies in Imo that are building technology companies and making sure they're ready to export their talent to, global organizations.
Yes. Thank you, first of all, for having me. Thank you to the governor and all of the organizers.
Chris, the mic.
Thank you. Is this now working better?
Is it on?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the joys of being tall. Thank you to the organizers, specifically to the governor, for inviting me to come. I will answer the question in a moment, but I'm here wearing multiple hats. The first hat that I wear is that I run an organization out of Silicon Valley known as the U.S. Market Access Center, US MAC. We are a startup enabler accelerator with 15 years experience, with extensive experience all over the world. We've worked in 82 countries, and we're happy that we're now here in Nigeria, specifically in Imo. Our goal is to help, through US MAC, is to help startup founders figure out how to scale globally. We do a lot of work bringing them to the US, but as the world globalizes, it becomes more and more about what is helping them find the next right market. But specifically, I'm here in Imo as part of a program that is a founder development program that is being done in partnership between my company, US MAC, and the Sudartra Center for Entrepreneurship at UC Berkeley. And the idea is that here in Imo, there is an amazing talent base of technologists that's being built. But there isn't the skill and experience in terms of being able to found companies, build products that people love, and then figuring out how to scale it. The challenge of a first-time founder is unique. And so we're looking not at the financial capital side, but the human capital side, that if you can build great founders here in Imo, in Owerri, they will build great companies, and those great companies will come on and become the economic engines for development and growth here.
Yeah, amazing. This is a really great initiative. When I had my tech company, HR software, I had to go all the way to Silicon Valley to get investment, and this was in 2015. So it's really good that in 2025, there's actually a U.S. accelerator coming right here to Owerri to help these startup founders get the necessary skill set in order to export their talent. So thank you so much for that. So Mr. Sunday, can you talk about your own organization and how it's specifically helping the youth in order to upscale their talent that is needed?
Thank you very much. I think I'll speak from my experience as the time I was the youth minister, and the program that we onboarded. We onboarded a program called DEAL, that is Digital Skills Acquisition, Employability, and also leadership training. The idea is to upskill about 1 million Nigerian youth. But we found out that we had about over 150 digital skills. And when we did the market survey, we saw that we had a skills mismatch and also lack of skills needed by our youth. So we designed a program in which our young people were trained with the skills that were relevant within the Nigerian system, but also skills that were exportable. Sometimes some of them in the telecom industry, working for telecom industries and companies outside of Nigeria, but also just sitting down in situ in their offices. But I think the larger part is to speak to my experience as the Federal Executive Commissioner of the Nigerian Communications Commission. And under my tenure, we licensed infracodes in the 6 geopolitical zones. The plan is to have fiber optic connections as a network across the 774 local governments. That will provide us the backbone that we need for any digital enhancement that this country needs. At this point, I think we're just barely 30% in that direction. And I think whatever we say now, every part of our lives, there's digital footprint. You need a digital footprint. In the age of AI, there's digital footprints, because through AI you can open your refrigerator, you can monitor so many things around you. And I think if Nigeria works hard to build the infrastructure across the country, then the digital economy that Imo is trying to do, they can plug in, because it's a network that covers the entire country.
So, Mr. Sunday, I actually have a follow-up question, because in order to do AI, right, it requires a lot of energy, and obviously it requires way more broadband than we have now. As you said, it's 30% penetration. So what infrastructure is being built so that the cost of data and internet can actually come down?
I'll be very careful in responding, because you have the telecom giants, the mobile network operators. You're talking about Globalcom, MTN, and the rest. You know, in the last 8 months, we've had a battle about increasing the tariff on data. It was increased, it was brought back. But the point is, when you do a survey across the West African sub-region, data is cheapest in Nigeria. You go to Ghana, it's double. You go to Senegal. But I think that it's important now that data dominates every facet of our lives. When it comes to education, it's data. When it comes to digital marketing, it's data. When it comes to where you find most of our youth who are not employed but find entrepreneurship, it is data. So they say the new oil is data, and I think it's important that government, improves the price. What do we need to do apart from the infrastructure? You look at building the backbone. At our shores, we have unused potentials, SAT1, GLO1, etc. But we need to build the infrastructure for that backbone. Once we're able to tap into that, it's just lying down in the Atlantic shores. I think data will be so cheap. That's one. Secondly, we have the question of energy. When I was in NCC, on a weekly basis, the MNOs complain about the amount of money they spend on diesel. And that has not changed. And that is transferred to the cost of data. Yeah. So if we're able to get it right with energy, and there is steady power supply, the cost of data will come down. But let me say, data is the new oil. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Chris, I want to go back to you. With the accelerator that you are putting together, does that also include investment? And if not, how much investment do you think a place like Imo needs in order for these startups to feel ready? There's, like I said before, there's so much money coming into Nigeria to the startup ecosystem. And unfortunately, most of the startups that are raising capital, especially over $1 million, typically is in Lagos. Very rarely you're not seeing, I haven't seen in recent time, startups that are raising real capital. And when I say real capital, I mean seed capital. So, $1, $2 million, which is even on the low end. Is there any plans to actually bring that type of capital into Owerri?
Yeah, so you are correct that right now there is a capital desert here for startups. But one of the things, being out of Silicon Valley, I'm an active angel investor. I've been a partner at a VC fund. The truth is that the money actually chases the talent, not the other way around. That if you have talented people, the money will come to them. And the real issue, we believe, here in Imo State right now is that there are not enough quality startups that will promote the capital to show up here. And so until you can get a certain density of talented startups, of high quality startups run by talented founders, the capital won't come here. And so this is why we're really focused on this idea of founder development. How do we help the founders build a company that the money will come to? As I said earlier, we've worked with founders from 82 countries, mostly in emerging markets. And collectively, they've now raised $8 billion. It's proof that if you can build the right startup in the right place, the money comes. I have a friend who runs a company in the country Georgia, former Soviet Union, 3 million people, about as small gets. He just raised $10 million on a $100 million valuation.
Wow.
Right? The money finds the talent. Our challenge here is to create the infrastructure, the tools, the human capital, and also get corporations to actually engage with the startups to be early adopters. And if we can do that, the money will start to show up.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris. So I want to go back to you, Lasberry. So what gets me excited about blockchain is, I think, like you rightly said, it pulls into the gaps of a lot of inefficiencies, right? And I think lots of times we look at it just as finance, but I think there's also issues around even land ownership, even IP. Do you see any of these type of examples specifically in Imo State that blockchain could be a really strong use case, especially because there's still a lot of skepticism around blockchain and people not understanding the full capabilities of it?
Thank you so much for that question. A few months back, I found myself in London, and I was actually meant to stay there for about 2 weeks. And I walked into the African market and I bought a tuber of yam, and I asked them, where is this yam from? And they said Ghana, right? I looked at the tuber of yam and I remembered Uguta yam. And I got to understand that there is actually a digital platform that is available to farmers, large-scale farmers, to display their products, and they are able to receive payment. And I asked the guy, what's your biggest challenge? And he said, payment. And I asked him, have you heard about stable coins before? And he said, no. One of the challenges they are facing receiving products from Africa, not just Nigeria, is the means of payment. And I spoke to the man about stable coins. What can stable coins do for you? If I give you an app, can you actually take supply from my country? And he said, yes. Just show me how I can pay them and tell me who the vendors are, and I will do business with them. So I look at Imo State as we have the potentials, right? The tuber of yam I bought, you can't even compare it with Uguta yam. So think of a marketplace, right? Built on the blockchain where you can actually receive your payment through stable coins. I know there are challenges. One of the biggest challenges we have around blockchain is the literacy. We have not invested so much time on educating people on what they can do with blockchain, right? There is a lot we can actually derive as a state because of our capabilities that we can actually build on blockchain. Yesterday, the governor, His Excellency, gave us a keynote speech, and he talked about using blockchain at the land registry. Right? So one of the benefits of blockchain is that you're able to keep your records and nobody can alter the record, right? And why is it called a blockchain? It simply means that each time you put a block on the chain, there has to be some verification, there has to be some alignment. Whenever you put a default block, every other node would set an alarm that there is a problem. So that's record keeping, right? So apart from using blockchain for our land registry, we can also use blockchain in our hospitals. We can use blockchain even in the ministry. We're familiar with the ghost workers. How are the ghost workers operating? It simply means one person is providing a list of 10 people as workers in a particular ministry, and those records are altered. those records can actually be built on blockchain so that the ministries are not paying more than the number of people working there. So each time you bring in a list of 10 people, there will be a trigger. Everyone that has access to blockchain will know that there is an error here. Probably this person doesn't have this identity and all that. So one big thing we can derive from blockchain as a state is to spend time, spend our resources, and educating the young ones on the benefits of the blockchain. It's not only relevant for transactions, it's very key in record keeping, which is why it's decentralized, right? So there are so many use cases for blockchain in Imo State. As we have deployed it in our land registry, we should also make efforts to deploy it in our ministries so that we don't keep paying ghost workers. Even during elections, we can also use blockchain. So it's just to have that understanding, which is you can't really make use of what you don't understand. So for us to really exploit blockchain in Imo State, we need to spend our time learning blockchain. We actually meant to make it as a compulsory subject in Imo State. All the unitary schools from the secondary stage should understand what blockchain is. By the time they're in the university, you see them coming up with innovative products built on the blockchain. So that's an area that's a state you can actually focus on and be able to derive the benefits. Thank you.
Very, very good. I actually spoke to the commissioner who built the digital city, and so I'm hoping that there's note-taking of how we can make sure that blockchain education is one of the requirements for, I believe they've trained over 50,000 youths, and taking that skill set in order to really best use blockchain. So thank you so much, Lasberry. And so over to you, Henry. Your company prides itself off of data-driven information when it comes to repayment of loans. And so I want you to speak to what is the best capability of understanding someone being able to pay back their loans, because we don't actually have a very deep credit infrastructure currently. And are you seeing anything interesting in Imo around loan repayments?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a good question. I think, so lending is a very old business. It's been here since the beginning of time, right? And essentially, depending on who you ask, in my view, there are three things that are important. Number one is you want to know who the person is, right? So what's the identity of the person you're borrowing to? So who are you, where do you stay, where do you live? Number two is, do you have the capacity to repay? Do you have the capacity to repay? So all the analysis that you do should speak to the person's capacity, how much they are earning, or if they're a business, how much the business is earning. That's the second thing. Then the third thing is behavioral, right? Do they have a willingness to pay? Do they have examples or experience of taking facilities and repaying, right? And so for us at Fairmoney, what we've tried to do, and we started this, as I said, 7-8 years ago, is look at different data points to try to make that determination. Unfortunately, as we've evolved, as time has passed, with the evolution of time and different players within the ecosystem, you have some specific people providing specific services. And I'll give you a simple example. Identity verification. That's a big thing for whether you're a CBN licensed entity like us or just a lender. You want to identify the person that is doing this, right? So with partners now, you are able to digitally verify the identity of someone. So I don't need to go to your local government to say this is who this person is. So that's number one. I think another example is address verification, for example, right? So you've got, before, you needed to physically go to a house to verify that this person stays here. Now with technology, you are able to do that digitally, and that is also a big win, because imagine, as I said previously, deal with 300,000 customers on a monthly basis. So how would you do that at scale, right? And because you can do this digitally, I think that is something that is helpful, and it's something that can be replicated in a state like Imo, and people can leverage on that. I think another thing I would just lay on top of it, and I think is important, is for us lenders, the more information and the more data we have, the better our decision making, and the more we are able to say, okay, this is a good borrower versus a bad borrower, and we can give the good borrower more funds. So for a state like Imo, it will be important if you can band groups of people together. So market women, for example, or youth groups and co, right? Where we can, that helps us identify the people involved, right? So if someone comes to you and say, I'm a part of this cooperative, a part of this market group, I know that, okay, the leader is this person, and if I want to get to the actual borrower, I can get through her or him through the leader, right? So that is something that could be useful as you plan to improve access to credit. I think that's something that's important, and something that can be easily implemented in a state like Imo.
Okay, thank you. And so over to you, Chris. So I'm curious because on the last panel, there was a mention of this partnership with Imo State and Berkeley, and we had no idea that this was even a partnership. And so could you please just highlight that partnership? What university in Imo does it house in, if you know that? I think it's important that everyone here understands the uniqueness of this.
Yeah, so one of the hats that I wear is I am part of, at UC Berkeley, what's called the Sudartra Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology. It is the leading center at Berkeley. More than 1,200 students every year take at least one class out of all the classes that they offer. And what they have studied for the last 20 years is this question of how do you develop founders? How do you actually build the right mindset, build the right knowledge, build the right skills? And I've been faculty there. They've now given me a fancy name. I'm a global ambassador, and I don't know what that means. But we have built a unique partnership with the Imo Digital City. It's actually not with the university, because we want it to be available, the program to be available as widely as possible, not to be restricted to just the students at one university. Through the sponsorship of the governor and the work with the commissioner at the Digital City, the program is actually open to anyone in Nigeria that wants to apply. Wow. And just a little plug for the program, we're in the middle of the application process for the cohort which launches next month. If you go to the Imo Digital City website, you can get into the application process. But what we've done is we've worked with the leadership at the center to actually develop the training and the curricula that will be used in the program based on the 20 years of experience of Berkeley doing this, as well as my own company's 15 years of experience of training founders around the world. And it is the first time actually in Africa where the Sudartra Center is actually formally certifying a program that says that this conforms to the quality and standard of the entrepreneurship training that is done on the campus at Berkeley. So it is a truly unique opportunity for people. And we're not actually looking for startups. What we're actually looking for is people who want to start a company, who have that drive, that passion, that ambition, that we can then help them become a great founder. We can help them find the right idea for them to start the company. That you're a startup founder. Your first idea sucks, right? What you think you're going to do on day one is never what you do a year later and God forbid 10 years later, right? And so our goal is to find high potential individuals, help them find the right idea, help them validate that people will buy it, build the right product, and help them get to market. And at the end of this program, the very best of the companies that come out of it will actually take to Silicon Valley to help them get funded.
Thank you so much. And so I think it's important that I end on this note. As someone who has ran a tech company for over a decade and now have a podcast, so I get an opportunity to speak to a lot of entrepreneurs. I see a lot of young people that are here today, and I think it's very important to urge them to, if you do not use AI in any form, it's so important that you educate yourself on AI and the fundamentals. Already in Silicon Valley, they have already built all the, what we call LLMs. So that is the ChatGPT, it's the Claude. These are the companies that have built all the data systems around AI. But I think it's very important that we start to build the application layers on these systems, and that we find ways that we can upgrade our companies and figure out how we can implement AI into the companies that we're building today. So thank you, each and every one of our panelists here. I want to also thank our amazing governor for inviting each and one of these panelists to really shed light on technology and how we can implement these technologies into Imo states.
Thank you very much to the panel and the moderator. Please, can we appreciate them as they step down? Thank you very much. Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the panel was looking at the digital transformation in Imo State, which has given birth to the Imo State Talent Hub. But beyond the digital revolution that is going on here, beyond agriculture, beyond oil and gas, healthcare and education, Imo State is also very strong in the area of power. And this brings to mind the Orashi Power Project, which is an ambitious Imo State initiative driven by His Excellency the Governor of the state and the Orashi Electricity Company. This is supposed to achieve 24/7 power access across 27 local government areas of the state using private investment of over $200 million. So what we'll do now is the media team will play the short documentary on the Orashi Power Project, and then we'll invite the managing director to talk to us. Can we have the documentary, please, on the Orashi Power Project?
Orashi Energy Free Trade Zone is the only free trade zone in Nigeria with hydrocarbon deposit.
This particular area we are talking about is the oil kingdom of the southeast.
Some places promise potential. This one is built on it. Energy, access, momentum.
Orashi Special Energy Free Zone is an ambitious, transformational industrial platform.
This massive gas resource base that's actually attracted us in there, and that's why we've been building this plant for a while. And then the free trade zone has come on board now to leverage on this unique energy opportunity.
The zone spans across 4 local governments in the state: Ubucha local government, Ohanjebema local government, Owerri West, and Ungwala local government areas.
All those areas have a lot of rich natural resources.
140,000 hectares of land already acquired and already been assigned to investors who want to be part of this success journey.
I think it's the best economic miracle in Imo State.
We are delighted. We are excited.
We are bringing other industries to come here in the oil and gas industry, education, food security. Oliverators will be here. They are building one of the biggest laboratories for testing hydrocarbon.
In the zone, you have the oil and gas companies, you have the annual gas processing plant, Seplat, Niazans, Water Speed. You have a number of other companies who are within the zone.
So there's so much investors' appetite in that location because of the energy-rich nature of the location.
It's a dynamic business enclave designed to promote energy investment, innovation, logistics, and trade facilitation.
In Orashi Special Energy Free Trade Zone, all it is about growing the infrastructure, harnessing the gas in the state, making sure that we build a multi-sector hub which brings in industrialization, brings in the energy use, brings in the opportunity of foreign and direct investment into Imo State.
If you have your plant right where your gas is, it's a no-brainer. Number one, it cuts off that additional cost, the additional investment in terms of laying massive pipeline, the risk you even face. So for me, this is the best that can ever happen in Imo State.
We are ready, we are set to ensure that investors who are coming to Imo State will have no problem at all with power supply to run their businesses.
We're already building an economy that will be so incredible that will resist all the hazards of doing business.
His Excellency Hope Uzodimma has been extremely supportive. We've met him quite a number of times, giving us assurance on security, ensuring there's peace.
One thing we know for sure is the digitalized security system we're putting in place enables you to have a peace of mind to operate within the zone.
For the private sector all over the world to know that these opportunities exist. That is the reason for the World Investment Summit.
Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would very much like to draw your attention to that documentary that says it all about the work that is ongoing in this special free trade zone that places so much together: oil and gas, electricity, and the works, and also digital infrastructure and digital security. It's a tied up free trade zone that ensures that Imo State is front and center, both in the southeast, in the country, and in the whole of Africa. I'd like to put on record the sitting down of Her Excellency Lady Chinyere Ihuoma Ikomaro, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, sitting in all her elegance with her very distinguished husband who has joined her as well today. Would like to thank you for being that woman who shows the way for other young ladies in Imo State to say, here I am, I'm on my way, what are you doing sitting down? Let's hear a round of applause for Her Excellency, please. Welcome, always good to see you. Back to the issue of the moment, and of course we all understand that the Orashi Special Energy Free Zone is invest, build, and prosper. I'd like to take a moment to talk about our side conversation with the lady in the picture, with the important individual who has been given the responsibility to lead this Orashi Special Energy Free Zone. In a conversation earlier today, this elegant, cerebral woman told me, the governor has trusted me with this special project, and we will work night and day for its success. A lady very much after my heart, a graduate of the Obafemi Awolowo University, and then went on to the university that my husband calls the Premier University. That's where he went to. We will not go into the matter of whether it is better than ABU, where I went to, but it's an ongoing conversation. The lady went to the University of Ibadan for her higher degrees, so she comes from some of the finest schools in Nigeria. She leads the effort to build and manage the Orashi Free Zone, a major industrial and energy infrastructure initiative aimed at leveraging natural resources, especially gas, in the region to attract investment, create jobs, and drive industrialization. She's described as a multi-skilled professional with almost 30 years extensive experience across key sectors. As a woman in a predominantly male-dominated sector, oil, gas, industrial infrastructure, she represents increasing, though still limited, gender inclusion by executive leadership in Nigeria's energy industry. Do help me give a warm Imo State Economic Summit 2025 welcome to Dr. Chioma Nwachukwu, who serves as the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Orashi's Special Energy Free Zone. She's popularly known as Dr. C. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that warm welcome, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. I know you have seen the video, you have seen the booklet. Thank you so much. Yes, please permit me to give you a little more information about Orashi Special Energy Free Zone. Let me start by saying Your Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma, our visionary leader of the state, Her Excellency Lady Chinere Ekomaru, good afternoon, ma'am. Our industry leaders, government leaders, our global investors here with us, our development partners, our very good people of Imo State, a very good afternoon, and please permit me to stand on a well-established protocol. Today, we gather here at an important moment, not only for our state, but for our region and for our continent. The world is undergoing a profound shift. Energy is being redefined. Logistics is being rewired. Manufacturing is returning to regions with talent and resilience. And investors everywhere are searching for environment where purpose and opportunity align. I stand before you here today with confidence that Imo State is one of those places. Imo State is one of those places where there is purpose and alignment of opportunities. And the Orashi Special Energy Free Zone is a platform that will carry us into the future. Before I proceed, allow me to express my sincere appreciation to Professor Benedetto Rama, all the eloquent speakers who have spoken very well about the free zone and what it has to offer in Imo State. They have indeed sharpened our understanding of the scale of opportunities before us. So now, what is the promise of the free energy free state zone? It is more than an industrial land. It is more than infrastructure. It is more than incentives. It is a platform designed to convert our natural gas wealth, our strategic waterways, our international cargo airport, our skilled people into a powerful engine for industrialization, innovation, competitiveness, export growth, and shared prosperity. It is a promise that we can build industries that endure, industries that can scale, businesses that provide opportunities that can uplift our communities. And the world has shown us that this is possible. Global economic history reveals that every region will rise when they have the courage to imagine more. Singapore imagined more when it built its trade zone on a reclaimed swamp. And today, John Raw is today a global manufacturing powerhouse. Dubai imagined more when it built Jebel Ali free trade zone on a desert. Today, it is an anchor of one of the world's most powerful trade corridors. Morocco imagined more when it developed Tagem Med, and today is a magnet for automotive and industrial multinationals. And back home here in Nigeria imagined more when we created the Lekki Free Trade Zone, and today it's one of the Africa's fastest growing industrial corridors. So these success stories, what do they show us? They show us three things: vision, discipline, and partnership. These are the three models Orashi Free Trade Zone have built its model on. Let me expatiate more on our model, the Orashi way. At Orashi, we have developed a model built for global competitiveness and long-term success. One, we anchor on energy. Located at the heart of Nigeria's gas basin, we can reliably power industries from LNG to methanol to fertilizer, petrochemicals, and power with competitive pricing and dependable supply. We build around world-class logistics. We are integrating a dredge inland port linkage to the Atlantic Ocean. An international cargo airport is being revived. Strategic highways are being built by our governor. Marine and aviation support systems are being put in place. We are connecting Imo to global and regional linkages that has never been, in a way that has never been done before. Three, we cluster industries for scale. Focused industrial clusters will drive heavy industry, petrochemicals, fabrication and steel, agro-processing, export manufacturing, automotive assembly. Clustering enhances efficiency, specialization, and global competitiveness. Again, we remove barriers to global markets. With the AFRESIN Center for Quality Assurance, we make sure that manufacturers have an opportunity to get their goods certified to meet the US, the EU, and any international standard, and their goods be ready for export. And then we embrace technology and smart security. We have heard so much about security this morning, so we have the comfort we're on the right path. So with that, what we're doing, we are having digitalized utilities, integrated surveillance systems, smart access control, and a central command center that ensures safety, efficiency, and world-class operations. Sixth, we provide investor-centric governance. A regulatory environment built on efficiency, transparency, and predictability. We shared this morning. If you look at the brochure, you will see all the benefits you stand to gain from the regulatory, from tax reduction to no paying of tax, immigration matters solved. We integrate it into a one-stop shop. That is what is being planned. So once you have become part of Orashi, you are left to manage your business and spend the time you need to succeed on doing the management of the business. And lastly, we have the Imo advantage. And what am I calling the Imo advantage? Is the power of our people. Beyond gas, logistics, and incentives, one of our greatest competitive advantage is our people. Imo State offers a large, educated, and capable workforce, known for professionalism, resilience, adaptability, and entrepreneurial drive. This human capital is the engine that ensures Orashi is ready to build, ready to scale, and ready to lead as a truly competitive industrial ecosystem. So what does this mean for Imo State? It means jobs for thousands of our young people. It means new industries taking root, SMEs integrated into global value chains, higher export volumes, strengthened infrastructure, a more resilient investor-driven economy. Orashi Orashi Special Energy Free Zone is indeed a generational upliftment. A generational upliftment because once the ecosystem stands, it will be there forever. It will outlive all of us. So why do we think we will succeed? Why do we think we will make this mark and be successful? It's because we have the resources, we have the logistics, we have the infrastructure, we have the partnership, we have the governance, we have the global demand, and above all, we have our people who believe in that nothing is impossible. Our success is not abstract, it is practical, it is measurable and achievable. So for this reason, I call our global investors, some of them I have seen in the room who have been speaking with us to come into the zone. I still call on you and institutions and partners, and as well as everybody who has a contribution to make to our success, that let us know that the world is shifting, supply chains are being reconfigured, manufacturers are seeking production hubs, Africa population is expanding, so is demand. This is the time to invest in Orashi Special Energy Free Zone. We offer opportunities in LNG and petrochemicals, automotives and industrial manufacturing, logistics, warehousing and shipping, agro-processing and cold chain, industrial power and digital infrastructure, real estate and industrial estates. The fundamentals are strong. The leadership is aligned and the opportunity is real. Join us not only to invest, but to help shape a new chapter in Africa's industrial future. I want to close by expressing my profound gratitude to His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma for his leadership and steadfast commitment to advancing the transformational agenda of Orashi Free Zone. To AFRIZIM, our partners, to the Oil and Gas Free Zone Authority, who provides us the regulatory support, the Nigerian Inland Waterways, whom we are working assiduously to bring the port into reality, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, who is working to revive the Cargo International Terminal, and all our global partners. My gratitude also to industry leaders, innovators, and our immediate communities who have welcomed us with so much joy, and our own very resilient people of Imo State. I stand with heartfelt gratitude, and I want to say, please, we invite you to join us to build and prosper. And I would like to close with 3 words that define the future we believe in, which is invest, build, and prosper. Thank you very much.
All right. I believe Dr. C deserves a bigger round of applause. Please put your hands together. You know, the administration of His Excellency Senator Hope Uzodimma is known for putting round pegs in round holes. To have appointed our sister to have put her in charge of that Orashi Free Trade Zone is a very noble idea. She comes from a wealth of experience in the oil and gas sector. Having worked in places like Seplat, that I know for sure. And of course, she's also a Harvard alumnus. So she's more than qualified for the assignment that she's handling. Imo is indeed reason. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have very, very distinguished guests here in our midst. I'll, if you permit, recognize a few of them that I have their name on the list. First of all, let me thank the local organizing committee that has put together this awesome event, led by the Honorable Commissioner for Finance and Coordinating Commissioner in charge of the economy, Mr. Chuck Chukwemeka. You've done an amazing job. You and the LOC that have put together this Imo Economic Summit. I've also cited earlier on another commissioner, Barrister Emeka Mbudem, the Commissioner for Petroleum and Natural Gas Development in Imo State. Barrister Emeka, you're recognized. Amazing job you all are doing in Imo State. We are proud of what our state is becoming and the potentials that are about to be unleashed. Another great son of Imo State, the founder ABC Transport, my own brother, Mr. Frank Neji, OON. Please recognize you. Please a round of applause. They're one of the pioneers of organized logistics business in Nigeria. We are so proud of you. I also like to recognize there's a company that I know is doing something wonderful in Egbema. Itazuma Mines and Industries. Their executive chairman, Dr. Innocent Ezuma, is represented today here by Dr. Chinedu Okbaleke, who I was privileged to serve with him under the previous administration, past administration, not the immediate past. Chinedu Okbaleke was former DG Imo Investment Promotional Agency, so you're recognized. Yes, he's still seated there. Chief Ude Ebube Mbitolu, I salute you, sir. Air Vice Marshal AK, yeah, you were there at the dinner last night. Thank you very much for the amazing thing that you're doing as well. Ezembu Chongwara. Someone walked in as our sister was making that presentation. The Honorable Minister for State Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite. Please a round of applause for her. Honorable Minister, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, Chief Henry Iko, former minister as well. Thank you very much. We'll make progress. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, One of our keynote speakers is the country director of Pula Advisors Nigeria, a pioneering organization redefining agricultural insurance and climate-smart risk solutions for millions of smallholder farmers across the continent. With a remarkable career spanning development strategy, agricultural finance, and innovative risk modeling, he has been instrumental in shaping policies and programs that improve farmer resilience, unlock productivity, and drive sustainable economic growth. Under his leadership at Pula continues to empower communities, strengthening food systems and ensuring the future of agriculture is not left to chance. He's here today to speak to us on agro-industrialization, moving from farm to market and to global export. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome to the stage here our keynote speaker, Dr. Mike Enahoro. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Michael Enahoro as he comes to talk to us today. Oh, he's already here. You're welcome, sir. Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Respectfully, I would leverage on all protocols observed. I stand here today respectfully as a son of Imo State by default. I share a birth date with an idol of mine who I watched, made me cry in 1977 when he was able to score against Bendel Insurance, which was one of the games my father took me to go and watch. Patrick Ekeji and I share the same birth date. I remember that in my mind as a child. I watched him play football, and bros, he also didn't know, but he was instrumental in me playing for this country in 1981. I was a 13-year-old selected by Emmanuel Omiono, and he just happened to pass by and he gave a good word, and I got selected in the national team to play for this country in the first under-17 national team. So Dr. Patrick Ekeji is for me a god. I also met him again when he was the DG, when I started a program called Kids and Play, to which I ended up developing some national athletes, one of which is your daughter, Rosemary Chukuma, who runs now for the national team, started from a program Dr. Patrick Ekeji approved. And that day, the man doesn't know that, but he has been very instrumental in most of the big decisions I've made in my life also. I also want to recognize him, sir. Bros, good day, sir. Imo State has been very, very instrumental. One of my oldest friends, who our paths have crossed in so many different ways, is from the state. Our paths have crossed over 30 years, and today we are still working on putting together a national structure for disaster risk financing in agriculture. And Imo State is going to be one of those states that becomes the primary run for that. I've been asked here, and by default, my late mom is also grew up in this state, so I feel connected to Imo State, even if I am an Enahoro from Edo. I speak to you today because our sister, Dr. C, just gave us a very, very incredible vision. That incredibility does not work if the state that is the second largest producer of cassava cannot convert cassava into cash. I will skip, I have a whole list of a speech to make, but I will speak to you directly from the heart. Dr. Hope Uzodinma has tried to do something that a lot of governors shy away from. Take the long road that is not very, very popular, but try as much as possible to develop value chains rather than just projects. If you have a free trade zone that has energy put in there, we should be talking about agro-processing for Imo State. Bordering around you are producers of food. Imo State is this nation's second largest producer of cassava. Forget what they tell you about Benue and Ondo. Imo State does cassava. We should not be looking at Gary for any reason not coming out of the state, especially if you have a free trade zone. Imo State has one of the largest women farming organizations in the country, Imo Women Farm. I know the stats. I have the stats. I insure Imo women. You have close to 13,000 small cooperatives. If you have 13,000 small cooperatives of 20 members each, we should not be having challenges in food processing. If we have a problem with Gary, check Imo. If Imo is not distributing Gary, then Nigeria has a problem. And let's call it what it is. I am not going to read from a pretext speech. I am going to talk to you as a son who is looking at the smart people in this room. Industrialization in Imo is not new. Transferring from farm to processing to agro into international products is something that is within the wherewithal of the state. You don't have to generate anything else new because this is what you do. But when I listen to Dr. C and see the work that they've done in the free trade zone, I am pleading with the leaders of this state to be able to look at agro-processing as one of the key drivers for this state to become one of the most economic blocks in the country. It doesn't take too much from where Imo State is. I took a drive out to try to go to the free trade zone because I really wanted to see for myself everything I heard yesterday. I am telling you, I am impressed beyond words. And this has nothing to do with anything. I am impressed beyond words. When you have a program like Freelia is saying that if you want to farm, come to us. We have the capacity to be able to allow you farm and produce goods. The only thing I have not heard is where are the multitudes? Why are we not seeing that avalanche of people going to the States to say this is what we want to do? Going international, Imo has already been international. Your Gary is in London, your Gary is in the United States, your Gary is everywhere. If you pick up a pack, there are only 2 states that ship Gary, Ondo and Imo. Check any store in London, check in US, check anywhere. You will find, if you're not seeing an Ondo, you will see somewhere from Imo. Your snails are already in Belgium. So if we are having pockets of this type of things, you now have Freelia that says that this is what we want to do as a government. I think the drive must be able to support that. Where are the people who farm? Our farmers in Imo State, unfortunately, are one of the oldest in the demographics. Why are young people not going to the farms? When you have programs like this, I want to use this junction because I have 3 to 4 minutes. I want to use this junction to plead with the Imo State government. Having this amazing program does not do anything for anyone if we cannot reach a lot of people to take over what their fathers have done. The world is going industrial. Regardless of what AI does, people have to feed. Regardless of technological advancements in the world, people have to eat. So let me use this opportunity to please talk to the Imo State people. Let us support the work that a visionary like Dr. Hope Uzodinma is doing. To the government and the good people of Imo State, it is with immense optimistic and very, 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 very exciting view that I stand here to tell you that the state is gearing up for something that is truly, truly, truly big and something that can really change the economic dynamics of the state. It is based on that I am very strongly encouraging that the programs that is being driven under the free trade zone should be definitely encouraged. Investments from private sector, like my big brother Leo Stanike has said, everyone should try to invest, not just in technology, but in food production and processing. Imo State already has the wherewithal to start that and be able to run with that. So, for me, I have been given a time limit. I would love to talk to you. What I can say is this year, I have insured 400,000 Nigerian farmers. 11,000 of them are from this state. But the government has not invested in risk mitigation for farmers. The 11,000 people are insured were from private sector drivers and private sector people. Here I am. I would love to promise the state that if I can get the state to insure, the state ready to insure, I will match the state. I will match the state for any money it is willing to pay to insure its farmers 50-50. I have that authority. If the state is ready to insure 100,000 farmers and they are willing to pay for risk mitigation for them, I will match them 50-50. So I need to have somebody from the Ministry of Agri come look for me, come and find me, and let us sit down and look at what we can do for the wet season, and let us see how much food we can produce and get people insured. And if the state can raise that type of amount and raise the people, I will match them for whatever they put on the table. Thank you very much.
A round of applause, please, for Dr. Mike Enahoro. He has said it very clearly. I am ready to match the state 50-50. The beauty about the Imo's State Economic Summit, it doesn't end here. It continues even after this program. Very soon lunch will be served, while at that time we'll make the appropriate announcement. However, we'll have side shows that will be going on, which will be for solid minerals and the SMEs. And I know very soon we'll also be privileged to hear from the Honorable Minister for State for Finance, and at the appropriate time we will bring her up. As you all know, captains of industries have been fortunate to be here. It's been a packed session. I would like to quickly recognize the GMD for United Bank of Africa PLC, who is ably represented by the regional manager, Mrs. Kelechi Onwucheka. Thank you so much for being here with us today. As we all know, we've been hearing about Imo State's digital economy. And it would be very unfair if we do not hear from the man who is leading that charge. I'm very happy to present to everyone a visionary leader, a public sector reformer who's driving policies that is expanding digital access, strengthening cybersecurity, and unlocking the digital space for Imo State. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the Commissioner for Digital Economy, Dr. Chimeze Amadi, as he addresses us. A round of applause for him as he comes on stage. Honorable Commissioner, sir, if you can please join us on stage. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, my leaders, captains of industry who are here, the state crafters in politics who are also here, the community of innovators who are here. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, let me start by putting a disclaimer to what Chief Leo Stanike said, that all he wanted to say, that I will be able to say it nicely. I think my feet can't really fit into Chief Leostaneke's shoe, but we are trying to do something about it. But this afternoon, I would like to tell a very interesting story on how the digital journey of Imo State has been able to transform the landscape of digital ecosystem, not just in Imo, but within the Southeast region and also in Nigeria. His Excellency Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, who is incidentally the digital governor of Nigeria, was the first governor, and Imo became the first subnational to create the Ministry of Digital Economy and E-Government. Since after that, at our last count, we've had more than 15 other states in Nigeria taking the cue, and they are emulating what I call the best example on how to use technology to transform the society, create a better society, and be able to create jobs for our youth, be able to transform an economy that people before now never thought existed, and create hope for people who had lost hope. The Ministry of Digital Economy and E-Government actually, in this summit, would like to expose the areas where we think the investors who are seated in this room should actually look at. What we are doing is swimming against the tide. We are trying to contest against what I call the container economy. Our people, we are vast and strong when it comes to trade and commerce. And here we are talking about a new economy. And Imo is championing that cause, that there could be another way of looking at growing an economy like that of Imo State and other state that has comparable indices, developmental indices like Imo State, especially in Africa. We all know that we are battling with high youth unemployment. We all know that Imo is a victim of its own success, having the highest literacy in Nigeria since the past 5 years, having the greatest entrepreneurial mind in Nigeria. Imo's success seems to be his own challenge. And what His Excellency did as a transformative leader is to look at other areas that could help muster the energy of our youth to support the growth of a new economy that never existed in our state. Hence, he talked about the digital economy. Digital economy has the power to drive innovation, motivate new startup, create new set of industries, and drive digital industrialization. And today, Imo, I can proudly say, has been one of the best examples that others are copying. And here lies the opportunity. Because of our successful Skill Up Imo program, which we've been able to train more than 50,000 digital talents in different and diverse digital skills, today we can proudly boast of exporting, not just retaining, but also exporting digital talents in software development, in cryptocurrency, in blockchain, in artificial intelligence, in graphic design, content development, and other high-level technical skills, which before now we used to import into Imo, but now we are net exporters of such digital talent, courtesy of the vision of this great leader. And most industries, what they are looking for is highly optimized technical talents. You want to build an AI model that could transform different sectors in anywhere in the world. Where you must start is having the people with the right talent, having the people with the right knowledge. If we're able to create the enabling environment and place people with the right talent and knowledge, then you can create that industry of the future. And in Imo, we're already doing so. Again, if you're a new startup and you want what I might consider comparably a cheap talent compared to any other African state or continent, you will see that in Imo, the army of people we have trained are ready to plug in, they are industry ready from day one to support the growth of that industry and be able to achieve the ambition of that industry. Again, there are areas such as AI. I learned the panel, they talked about the value of AI. AI has transformed a whole lot in the world today. AI drives almost everything we do. Imo State, within the context of the Imo Digital City, which His Excellency has built, is creating the first artificial intelligence center in Nigeria, and nothing can match it. Within the Imo Digital City, we are building the most robust, most equipped artificial intelligence center, where AI models can be built, trained, and deployed for industry purposes. And we are already training some of the solutions that we have homegrown from Imo State, such as precision agriculture. One of our founders has deployed a lot of resources to build this AI that could help support the agri sector in Imo State and beyond. Then you talk about the cryptocurrency facilities. Cryptocurrency is one other aspect of digital technology where opportunity avails itself in Imo State. You need to build high-density cryptocurrency facilities. Around the Orashi-Uguta axis, you have such enabling environment. With what Orashi Electricity is doing to supply 24-hour electricity, you need high-quality cryptocurrency or high-intense cryptocurrency facilities which could help grow the economy of Imo State. There are people who are interested in doing such facility because of the river around that area that will ensure cooling systems for these data centers that where cryptos are mined. That presents a great opportunity for any investor who is interested in building technology facilities in Imo State. And the opportunity is there. Orashi Free Trade Zone will support you to ensure that all approvals are gotten. And within the people we have trained from Skill Up Imo, they are there to support you, make sure that from day one, you are able to deploy services, not just for Imo State, but to the entire world, because such facilities are scarce globally. And in Imo State, you have opportunity to invest in cryptocurrency mining. Another one is the market in Imo State. Imo State is naturally endowed. Because of our geographical advantage, we enjoy equidistance to a market size of over 60 million Nigerians. We enjoy equidistance with Rivers State, with Enugu State, with Anambra State, with Delta State, with Abia State. Combined market size of these states is over 66 million. So if we're able to set up companies like device manufacturing companies, either as partial knockdown companies or fully knockdown companies, you will be able to access some of these markets that are beckoning for digital services. Your devices will be sold, and people who are ready to buy them, not just in Imo State, are also there. So Imo is ready for digital businesses. Imo is ready because we have the digital talents that are already trained, ready to be deployed, ready to be harnessed, ready to be plugged, and are ready to play. So I welcome you. Join us in building the most efficient, most transformative digital economy southeast of the Niger. Thank you so much.
Honorable Commissioner, that was a digital presentation. Can we put our hands together for one more time for him? ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Wonderful, wonderful. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in no time we'll be wrapping up today's activities. But let me welcome here a daughter of the soil. Formerly, she was the Commissioner of Finance in the state. She has been a wonderful ambassador of this state, and she's doing amazingly well. Alongside the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, they are crafting a new economic reform for Nigeria. But her people will call her not Honorable Minister, but Adauku Ndiolu. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome here the Honorable Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite. I welcome you. Please let the applause continue until she gets to the microphone. You're welcome, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much for the lovely introduction. Our own dear Ebere Young. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, my own dear sister, it's my pleasure to be here with you to celebrate this great day. And I also want to extend my warm wishes and my greetings to all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen who are here, our esteemed leaders, visionaries, royal fathers, innovators, and my dear brothers and sisters of Imo State. Today, I stand before you with profound pride and gratitude. Pride because this land has shaped me, nurtured me, and given me a sense of purpose. And gratitude because together we can imagine and build a future worthy for our children. I bring warm greetings from the Federal Ministry of Finance, and I stand here not only as a public servant, but as a daughter of this soil and someone who believes deeply in the potentials of this state. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it fills me with great joy to join you at this year's Imo Economic Summit, convened under the visionary leadership of one of Nigeria's finest, one of Africa's brightest, and one of the world's most courageous and forward-looking statesmen, His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma. He is not only a governor, he is an architect of possibility, a leader whose courage is matched by clarity, whose intellect is matched by integrity. And by convening this summit, he reminds us that leadership is not a position, it is a mission. It is the power to shape thought, to steer policy, and to ignite hope. I count it a blessing to learn from his example and to draw from his wisdom and from the wisdom of Mr. President as we work together to transform this great country. My brothers and sisters, today's gathering is far more than an event. It is a turning point. It is a declaration that Imo State will no longer be defined by its challenges, but by its possibilities. That we will no longer talk about potential, we are here to activate it. That we will no longer wait for the future, but we will build it with our own hands, our own minds, and our own hearts. Across Nigeria, a new wind is blowing, a wind of diversification, reform, resilience, and renewal. This administration is committed to building a nation where prosperity is shared, where opportunities are real, and where every citizen, no matter their background, can rise. And to encourage investment into states, the federal government has done a lot of reforms, and I'll just mention a few of them. One, the Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund, which we know about. This fund was created to directly fund and assist states to fund infrastructure development. Capital market reforms has been done to help states to raise long-term capital from the capital market. Insurance sector reform to help the states to further de-risk investment, and crowding guarantees to support investors who are coming into any state. FX and macro stability that we have done has given clarity and predictability to investors who are looking to invest in Nigeria. We've revamped the security architecture, further strengthening our hope, especially in Imo State. And I thank the visionary governor for what he's done in bringing about greater security for this state. We are encouraging more public-private partnerships and providing concessionary finance, blended finance, backed by sovereign guarantees to support more investment within states. And the recent one is the World Development Plan to support the development within different wards in the states. But hear me clearly, Imo State is not just a participant in this national renewal. Imo State has been called to lead it. We have everything required for greatness: a brilliant entrepreneurial people, a global diaspora influencing every corner of the world, natural and human resources of immense value, a government committed to progress, and a youth population that is gifted, restless, innovative, and hungry to change the world. However, greatness is never automatic. It is built upon pillars that we must strengthen together, and these include partnerships, the power of coming together. The story of development everywhere in the world is the story of partnership. When governments, private sector, development partners, academia, and our communities coming together in one direction, nothing is impossible. Partnership multiplies our strength, partnerships accelerate our impact, and partnership builds the type of prosperity that we want. Investment. Every great economy is built by those who are bold enough to invest in it. Imo needs bold investment, both in infrastructure, agriculture, digital economy, manufacturing, green industries, and the creative economy. The Federal Ministry of Finance stands ready to support an environment where investors feel confident, protected, and empowered. Because where investment flows, transformation follows. Innovation, lighting the path forward. In a world that's changing at lightning speed, innovation is not optional, it is existential. Imo must rise as a hub of new ideas, new industries, and new solutions. Our young people, who are ingenious, resilient, courageous, are our most powerful resources. When we unlock their creativity, we also unlock our own destiny. We must continue to invest in education, entrepreneurial development, infrastructure and power, financing, and long-term partnerships to unlock investment opportunities within Imo State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the future we dream of will not descend upon us from heaven. We must build it, and we must choose it, and we must commit to it. Let this summit mark the dawn of a new imagination for Imo State, an imagination where prosperity is not the privilege of a few, but the inheritance of many, where our children dream bigger because we dared to act boldly, where Imo stands as a tall beacon of innovation, partnership, and investment. Once again, I would like to congratulate our father, His Excellency Governor Hope Uzodimma, for his foresight in convening this summit and bringing the world to Imo State. I celebrate every partner, every investor, every dreamer who believes in Imo, and I reaffirm on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Finance that we stand with Imo fully, firmly, and faithfully as we unlock the limitless promise of our great state. May God bless you, may God bless Imo State, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what a delight it is to listen to the Honorable Minister of State Finance, who has done the needful. Not only has spoken about how this land has shaped me and given me a sense of purpose, and I am not only a public servant, but I am also a daughter of this soil. She has spent the time celebrating not only His Excellency the Governor of Imo State for bringing the world to Imo, she has also celebrated His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the various achievements, especially the renewed hope funding and the various achievements of His Excellency Mr. President. She has spent the time relishing the fact that as a daughter of the soil, she's extremely proud to always come to join us. And if they are all made this beautiful, like the Honorable Minister of State, then we might begin to invade Imo from different sides of the country. We truly celebrate the Honorable Minister of State Finance for her intervention. I would like at this point to let you know that in a short while, after what I am about to announce, which will be a brief entertainment of 3 to 4 minutes, that we would be on our way to lunch. Therefore, in the next 10 or so minutes, we'll wrap up. I'd like to crave your indulgence. As we begin the next activity, I'd like to recognize Dr. Ngozi Olejeme, former chairperson, National Social Insurance Trust Fund. I'd like to greet and welcome Nnamani Uchenna, Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission, Southeast Zonal Office, NIPC, representing the Executive Secretary, distinguished Senator Patrick Ndubweze. I welcome you. I'd also like to let you know that there is a sideshow round table which has to do with SMEs and mining, and this will take place after lunch in this building. I'd like again to remind us that the music from the resident band gave me goosebumps all over, because high life is one of my musical things, and from all over the East we have had some of the finest high life musicians. In Imo we have had a couple, and I'll regale you with them. But let's talk about music briefly and how women are rising across Nigeria. Only yesterday I listened to a clip on Instagram where the former host of The Daily Show, South African-born Trevor Noah, celebrated the legendary rap music artist, international Busta Rhymes. There's nothing more beautiful than celebrating the musician that you've listened to over the years. And I wish to put on record a lady who inspired my young girls to be singing, a lady who held the role of moderator earlier today, fierce female rap artist who opened the doors for other rap artists in Nigeria. Please help me celebrate a leading light that brought women to the fore in rapping in Nigeria. Celebrate with me, fierce, brilliant, and very much on top of her game, Sasha P. Sasha P in the room, your hands up. Can we see you if you are still here? There she is, a lady who opened the door for rap music for women. Please, let's give her a round of applause. Thank you very much. And I would like to talk about prominent high life musicians from Imo State. The Cavemen are a modern high life band, a sibling duo, bassist and drummer from Olu, Imo State. Kabaka, Godwin Okpara, who is from Ngokpala in Imo State, founder of the legendary group Oriental Brothers International Band in the 70s. Dr. Sir Warrior, a pioneering Igbo high life guitarist, vocalist, and band leader. And also, we have Jonez from MBC. My mother used to listen to Jonez every day, and the one that I heard the most, which I said, is it that this man doesn't like women, is My Landlady. He has a beautiful song for My Landlady, and he also has Ofe Owiri. The music from Imo State Let's give a round of applause to all the musicians who have been doing great jobs. And of course, we have Anyi Don. Frank Ifeanyi is a younger generation high life artist from Mbano, Imo State. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for the next 3 to 4 minutes, help me welcome Toluwani as she performs for us before the closing ceremony, which would not take more than 5 to 6 minutes. Thank you very much.
Should stay, I will only be in your way, so I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. I will always love you. I will always love you. My darling, I love you. Bittersweet memory, that is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye, please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need, and I will always love you. I will always love you. Treat you kind, and I hope you have all you dreamed of, and I wish you joy and happiness, but above all this, I wish you love.
Honorable Minister, 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Thank you. Thank you. She deserves a big round of applause. All right, please, before, I'd like us to settle down, please. Honorable Minister, please let us settle down, because Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, will do the formal closing of the summit. So at this point, let me invite Lady Chineke Komaro, our own beloved Deputy Governor of Imo State. Please, a big round of applause for Her Excellency as she makes her way here. Can we rise, please? Let us rise as Her Excellency comes to the podium. Let's rise, please, for Her Excellency. She will formally close the summit, and after that, we'll go for lunch.
Please sit. On behalf of His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, I want to thank everybody who took time to just sit and listen to the amazing panelists as they are selling Imo State to the world. His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma has done a lot on this one-of-a-kind Imo State Economic Summit. He has pulled down and closed the entire country for our dear state, Imo State. This goes to show what he has in mind for the people of Imo State. We want to thank him for coming up with this amazing initiative. We want to thank all the people who I know, by just attending this summit, have decided to partner with Imo State in all the initiatives His Excellency is dishing out. I want to thank our sisters, even though they are far away in diaspora, they were all brought back and they gave their perspective, all to bring Imo State to #1 in the world map. I want to thank the compares, Okay Bakasi, Eugene Abu, and so many of them who made sure that they anchored this summit on a 100% platform. As we leave after today, we pray God to guide you, to take you back home. If you're representing a company or an individual or something, you have seen what it is that we are proposing for the entire state. Please join us. His Excellency is one of a kind. He's a great leader. He's powerful. He's courageous. And he will keep moving forward. Nothing stops him until Imo becomes the new world for everybody in digital, in agriculture, in education, in health. He will keep pushing. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. When you go in front, you stay there for photograph. Please, I would like us to join Her Excellency right in front there, where the red carpet is. All the speakers, all our keynote speakers today, members of the local organizing committee, please, you also join us here. Honorable Minister, please join us in that photograph. Ohaneze, our leaders who are here, please, let us do this photograph. We want to do photograph first of all, group photograph. Please, all those who came to speak, Dr. C, yes, please join us there. All our keynote speakers today. Dr. Nahura, if he's still around, please. Yeah. Yes, the LOC, the local organizing committee, the commissioners who are here. Yes, SSG, sir, please. SSG, even without saying, you should know, sir. Yeah. And the lunch arrangement, please, we have 2 sections. Every other person, there's a big setup the other way, the hall adjacent to this one. You can go there for lunch. Our VIP guests, please, we'll have a place for you where we have the VIP green room. Thank you very much. It's lunchtime, everybody. God bless you all.
Welcome to Lagos. Big night now. Pulling up for Zaza. Check out the boo. What you are gonna walk.
From the heart